with my brother Didier Chalfoun. You just finished training.
Just finished training, so I a little red, a little sweaty.
One of our awesome students, athletes, competitors, friends.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you.
Family, Legacy family. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Wearing your Kings shirt.
Always got to represent, you know. Rough season, but hey, you always got to rep.
Yeah, man. You asked me to do an interview a while back about because you were going to school for.
It was sports management. Wow, that was my first semester, and it was during our internship class, and we had to do informational interviews with people who were successful within the sports industry, entertainment, etc. And
talking to the microphone. Yeah, there we go.
You want me to repeat anything?
You can say it again.
Solid. So I interviewed you during my first semester during our internship class because they wanted us to do informational interviews with people that have made it within the sports world, and you were one of the first few people that popped into my head.
Okay.
I remember it was a couple of questions about what you kind of wanted to bring into the community. You told me that you came from a family of educators coming from New Mexico, and you just wanted to provide a good impact on your community. And I remember I wrote a whole page about it, and I kind of just ran with it. Got an A in the class, so really appreciate you.
Nice, man.
We've come a long way since then.
What made you want to get into that? Sports management.
So prior to that, I worked in banking for like 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years of banking.
100%. I needed a job, and it was easy. I got a job as a teller right out of college, got promoted to a banker, and it was kind of easy money. I was getting paid a decent hourly rate, go 8 to 5, and it was easy. Once the pandemic hit, the bank kind of changed policies, incentives changed, and it became more of a career and less of a kind of like I just go to make ends meet type of deal, and there was no passion behind it.
Yeah.
My uncle was a big inspiration. My uncle Yuri, who lives back in Lebanon, he reached out to me, and he was like,
so I was asking your last name, and he's like, it's Lebanese. Nice.
Absolutely. Me and my mom moved here in 2006, born and raised in Lebanon.
Wow.
Yes, sir. So my uncle Yuri reached out to me. He was like, listen, you don't want to become 45, 50 years old and spend your time kind of like slaving away in a job that you don't like. You should consider sports. So I dug down, found Long Beach's sports management program, applied.
Why did he tell you sports?
I always liked sports. I was doing jiu-jitsu at the time, big MMA fan, big UFC fan.
Nice.
Most of my posts on Instagram were always sports related.
Sports stuff, yeah.
Never talked about anything else.
Like, you
100%.
should do sports. Yeah, or something you like.
Exactly. Might as well make some money. So Long Beach State Sports Management, fantastic program.
Long Beach State?
Cal State Long Beach.
Cal State Long Beach, in where they have the pyramid?
Yes, sir. Exactly. IBJF, I think they take it
IBJF
over.
for Worlds, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I applied there. Great sports management program. A lot of good connections. Got connected with the Clippers, the Galaxy, Angel City FC, and then you kind of just make your way through there and make connections, figure it out.
Yeah, Deed had gone there too after high school. Yeah, cool. Yeah, nice.
Sir.
And then how did you get connected with? Because I've seen you a few times at the Kings games,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes. So I started off with the Clippers as an inside sales representative. So within sports, I took the sales and service route just because I was a little bit older when I kind of did the change. I was 28, 29, and you needed money right away, and sales was kind of the way to do it. Inside sales is a 9 months crash course where they teach you how to sell sports tickets. And then you either get promoted within the Clippers or you get promoted externally.
Okay.
I got promoted externally. I found my way in the Dodgers premium service team for a while, and then from there
Dodgers?
Yes, sir.
Cool.
That was more on a game day basis, so it wasn't full-time.
Okay.
From there, I found my way to the LA Kings' minor league, the Ontario Reign. I did 9 months of group sales with them, and after that, I got promoted to the LA Kings, and I just finished my full season with them. Yeah, it's been exciting.
It's been fun?
Yes, sir. Really like it, honestly. It doesn't feel like a job, other than when the off-season hits and it turns into a regular 9 to 5. But during the season, it's a blast.
What do you love about the season?
Just kind of the intensity of it. You feel like you're a part of the team. The team wins.
Yeah, you're doing a job for the team, right?
100%.
Without the fans, without the people in the stands, it's not happening.
Absolutely. When we sell out the arena, we feel a sense of pride. You know, we did this. We go on the inside and we kind of take a look around and we breathe kind of like the hockey ice and everything. And it's dope, honestly. It's very gratifying.
That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, without the fans, there's no UFC. There's no
100%.
There's no LA Kings, you know?
Absolutely. Man, I tried so hard
I didn't even think about that.
I tried so hard to get into the UFC when I first started sports, but then relocating to Nevada and starting off again as an intern and everything like that, it just kind of...
What about when they come to LA?
To kind of work as a freelance with them, I've never really considered it. I need to do a better job of making connections within the industry, I would say. So...
Right, because then you get to do it, but then you know, you don't have to move out of town.
100%, honestly. So we'll see. If you know anything.
How'd you fall in love with the MMA and UFC and
I grew up a big professional wrestling fan.
professional wrestling?
Yes, grew up.
Are you surprised that they merged together with WWE?
Not at all, to be honest. When
Right?
I thought it was always the perfect kind of.
Did you watch the
business
Hulk
plan.
Hogan documentary?
The
Or
Hulk
no. Sorry, it was the
Vince
Vince McMahon
Absolutely.
documentary. Yeah.
I watched all of it.
And-
I grew up a big fan,
Right?
and then seeing that behind the scenes of it is
Right?
so dope. Yeah, even though
And then see it come full circle and then merging.
100%,
Right?
100%, and seeing where it is now, and them kind of doing business together and everything, it's fantastic.
When did you start following UFC? Like what years?
I wanna say when Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell were coaching the Ultimate Fighter.
Okay.
I think they were supposed to fight for their third time when Tito
That
got
was the
injured.
first season of the Tough?
No, this was way later. Who won that season? I can't even tell you who was on. But Tito pulled out because of a neck surgery, and then Rich Franklin ended up stepping in, and then
Oh, that's
Chuck
right,
and
that's
Rich
right,
fought
that's
at the
right.
end of it, and I think Chuck ended up losing, and that kind of sent him off into retirement.
Oh,
That's
okay.
kind of
Okay.
when I
Okay.
came
Okay.
along.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it kind of just took off ever since.
It was still on Spike TV at that time?
100%. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
yeah,
Every
yeah.
Thursday.
I think that was the. Maybe I'm just biased, but I think that was the best era of UFC because we all knew where to watch the stuff. We all knew where to find it. The Tough was kind of popping, right? It
Absolutely.
it was happening, right? You got to know all the people, and it was before they had all these pay-per-view events, so you really got to know all of the fighters, right?
Absolutely.
And then when the people fought, also they had their banners, they had their fight shorts, and you had all the logos and all their team behind them. You know, you got to
Absolutely.
represent, you know,
It
you
was a lot
people
of
that support you.
a lot of personality behind it, especially back in the day. Like you said, with the banners and the custom shorts and everything like that, there was a lot of it. It's really bland nowadays, I want to say, with the specific sponsorship and everything like that. But
I'm curious, you know, if you take, because there's like hidden value in certain things, right? I mean, yeah, they get, you know, Venom and, you know, Reebok, whatever, they, you know, they're getting paid, right? I guess it's a
Absolutely.
business, right? But I don't know, I'm curious to see. I guess it makes more sense for the UFC, right, to have these big
100%.
sponsors.
I agree.
But it's cool for the people, for the fans. I don't know. It's more unique, right, to have your own
100.
people behind you.
Absolutely. Definitely shows personality. Like you look at, I remember George St. Pierre, that
George
picture where he
St.
had Danaher behind him,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Uncle John, and everyone like that, and it just looked so badass. It was phenomenal. But yeah,
You know, with their own like sponsors.
absolutely.
And, okay.
Yeah. That's what I think of instantly.
Yeah. UFC has been. Did you think it was going to get as big as? I mean, it got big after the first Ultimate Fighter. It started to grow, right?
For sure. I like I said, grew up a huge professional wrestling fan. I think it got really big when Lesnar signed, right? And that was kind of a big
The
deal back in the
crossovers,
day.
yeah.
And then there was Ken
It was already
Shamrock.
big by the time you started following. It was
Yeah.
already kind of starting to become mainstream.
100%. Then you had the Shamrock brothers, right? There was Ken who was kind of doing both.
Right,
he
right,
was
right.
in the WWE for a while, and
He fought in Japan and stuff in those early days.
then he was like, I think, not really beating people up in the WWE, but he was a little bit more aggressive because he didn't realize. Yeah, it was crazy.
What did you love about pro wrestling, WWE?
I think the personalities, to me, big Stone Cold Steve Austin fan, kind of growing up, DX chops all over school. I don't know. It's just the attitude kind of behind it is what really stood out to me.
Yeah, I grew up growing up in the '80s. Not that I was fanatically watching the things, but you know, like Hulk Hogan, and you know, they kind of played into the different things, right? Different cultures and cultural things, right? And it really gave a story behind different people, right?
Absolutely.
Andre the Giant and like
The Iron Sheik.
The Iron Sheik, yeah, Iron Sheik, right? It was surreal, right?
100%. The
You know,
characters
the
that
bad guys, the good guys, and Hulk Hogan was the good guy. Then he turned heel, right? Then he turned bad for a
Absolutely,
while.
yep. When he went to WCW and did the whole Hollywood thing, it was the biggest deal at the time. Yep.
That's speaking of the McMahon documentary, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was really
yeah.
good. That was done really well. And yes, his daughter, right? His daughter's now running it. Is that right?
Yes, I believe Stephanie and her husband Triple H. I think
Triple
they
H.
took complete creative control over everything. And my amateur opinion, I think they've done a phenomenal job. I keep up every Monday and every Friday and
It
everything.
was just so surreal to see the dad, right? Vince, right? Like how they were so like with the iron fist, right?
Absolutely.
And for him to relinquish control, creative control, and all that.
100%.
Just how committed he was for so many years, right?
Absolutely.
Like, the good, bad, and ugly, but like, man, he did it, right?
I think he had to do what was best for his company at the end of the day because of everything that happened with the news behind the scenes and everything like that. I think it was better for him to kind of step into the backstage type of deal and relinquish control to Triple H and his daughter. And I think it's worked out for the company overall. I don't know about him personally, but
Yeah, for sure. It was time, right? It was time with all the stuff coming up. But I thought it was done really well, the whole documentary, and because he's done. It's just, that was big work. What he did, right? He created something from nothing, right? Created a whole world, right? A whole universe.
Absolutely. He bought everyone out. It's kind of crazy.
WrestleMania, like, come on.
Yeah, they're on WrestleMania 40 something or late 30 something, I think, at this point. Yeah,
it's like a worldwide thing, like Hulk Hogan and just
absolutely
all the characters that's been created. The Rock, right?
Yep. And then whenever they cross over with the UFC and MMA and things like that, it's kind of good cross promotion for both. So I think they're working that TKO thing out perfectly, in my opinion.
Yeah. The UFC. What's your favorite? What do you love about the UFC?
What do I love about the UFC?
Because the character development it's not WWE, but
100%. I don't know. I like a good old fashioned kind of fist fight. I know it's very just. I don't know. That's what I like. But I like a brawl. I like when they go in there and they just kind of put the gloves on and kind of go at it. But coming from like a jiu-jitsu background as well, when those grappling it changes as well, I kind of get excited. You know what I mean? So
listen, it's like the cool thing with the UFC, right? No matter where you are, no matter what culture, whatever, wherever you're at, you understand what's going on.
Absolutely.
If the guy's winning or losing, right?
100%.
You can't say that a lot for different things, right?
100%.
Different combat.
When people ask me, show me a fight, I show them Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald. I think it was the second fight.
Oh my God! He took off his nose off of his 100%. Face. He like rearranged his face or removed his face from his face.
Yep. I think it was the fourth round with they split on
the floor. Have you seen that fight? Robbie Lawler and
Rory
McDonald from Canada. I think he was never the same after that.
No, not at all.
Because he was up and coming. He was like
he shattered his nose. It was a jab that put
it was
him
like
at the end.
It was like gone off his face, right?
Absolutely.
And just
and Robbie lost half of his lip, and then that eventually kind of.
He's such a savage. Like he's such a different breed, right?
100%.
There's only I feel like one Robbie Lawler
ever. And then winning his retirement fight.
He like split his lip.
I saw that.
And then he screams like ah, like and you're like, dude, stop screaming! Your lip's gonna split apart, your face.
Dude. When like
and he just,
real quick, like she might have got that forearm right here
for Whitaker.
Under Whitaker.
Yep.
And his teeth fell in.
Oh yeah, he crushed.
He shattered his lower jaw. Dude, you'd never seen Whitaker tap so fast.
Repeat that. That he's just.
He shattered his lower jaw. You'd never seen Whitaker tap so fast, but the moment Chimaev got that,
that's
it was
strength, huh?
Crazy. Yeah, he's terrifying. Chimaev's a terrifying individual. It's like I wonder how long I would last, dude. It's like 20 seconds, 15 seconds, you know?
He's fighting Duplessis next.
Yeah, for the belt. That should be a fun one. Duplessis a wild card, though. You never know how he's going to react, what's going to happen with him. So
that's a good fight. Hopefully it goes through.
Absolutely.
Right? No injuries or anything.
That's soon, no? Soon-ish?
How about Merab this last weekend?
He's.
Are you surprised?
Honestly, not really. I'm a big fan of Merab. Not that I say that I've been following his entire career, but just his pace and his energy. He's just an energy bunny. You know what I mean?
Do you follow him on social media?
He's so funny. He has a clip where he's like falling off of a horse and going into a tree or something. He's incredible.
Did you see that one where he's like, he's climbing trees, right? But he jumped into the frozen, whatever it was, lake or whatever.
And then he hit his head. Yeah.
He split his And then he kept the camera rolling. He's like, oh man, no, I messed up.
This was a stupid decision. Yeah.
And his head gets stitched up. He goes all the way to the hospital, and then you're just like, oh my God, he's an animal.
100%. He doesn't get tired. He doesn't stop. His last fight against O'Malley, I think there was at that second round when he had him up against the cage. He shot for 4 takedowns within 30 seconds. Just kept going up and down, up and down. Did not stop. It just felt like Sean had no answer to him. It was nuts.
And then Khabib, right? His crew, like all his Ismail, all those guys have been undefeated, right? And he took out their
Umar.
Yeah.
I wonder what that rematch is gonna be like, because they're up there training specifically for Merab right now. So,
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, and Islam now is fighting for the welterweight title against Jack. I don't want to butcher his last name, but huh? Potentially, I don't know.
Johansson.
Whoever is 170 champ right now. But yeah, I think he's moving up.
Oh yeah, we'll see him, Rob. He's kind of peaking right now. So I think he's still on it.
I believe so.
I think he's on it, and I think he's gonna because he took him down at like, oh, he's not gonna take me down. He took him down on purpose, right, to show him that he's the boss.
100%. Yeah. And the out cardioed him. Omar was breathing heavy on that stool at the end of that fourth round when Merab was just walking back and forth, kind of ready to go.
He's so funny, man.
Yeah.
Jacuzzi, they said the press conference. It's like, what do you do for fun? What do you say? And then Rob's like, jacuzzi. That picture of the jacuzzi.
He has no back for that one. It's hilarious, man. He enjoys it. He's there. He's smiling. He's ready to have a good time, and just he goes and he does what he needs to do.
He's like, don't worry, I'll humble you to Sean O'Malley before. Okay, I'll humble you. I'll humble you. Okay.
And Sean came out with a decent game plan. I thought he looked good for that first round, again, from my amateur opinion. But we'll see what's next for Merab. Can stay defending at 135 belt or move up to 145. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Who's some of your favorite fighters right now? Who do you like?
UFC?
Yeah. Or in general, doesn't have to be UFC.
No, UFC is where it's at, right? So I think Merab for sure.
Yeah.
He's funny. He's cool. He's a great fighter. Merab. I think Hamzat too.
Absolutely.
He's a character, right? And he's so dominant.
Yeah.
John Jones, man, just because of his streak.
Absolutely.
He's really undefeated.
Yeah.
And he's just cleared out the division so many times. And I know he's not like fighting, but give the guy like some crazy super fight where he's gonna make
100%.
10 million or something. I don't know.
Absolutely.
The guy's like,
yeah.
he's been fighting since he was like early 21 or something.
100%.
That's crazy.
He was the light heavyweight champion at 23 years old.
23 years old. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I think I was like 17.
That's
or 18
the biggest, the longest run ever in UFC.
Absolutely. No one's even come close, I think.
Yeah.
And 205, I like Yuri Prohaska. I think it's a lot of fun. That whole samurai thing that he has going on for him.
Yeah, it's funny. That's funny.
Big fan of that. Yeah. Should be a good time, honestly.
Yeah. John Jones, who's light heavyweight?
You got Yuri, you got Alex Pereira, you got Magomed Ankalaev, I think is the champion now.
Yeah. Man, the Nina, right? Drama, like you follow her.
I follow her a little bit. Yeah.
Like it kind of makes it fun, right? Makes it like switches it up, right? She makes everybody laugh, like
100%.
gives people like their personalities, right?
For sure.
Makes them funny.
Absolutely.
Like personality, but makes them funny.
I think she knows how. I think she's a good businesswoman. I think every fighter that she's interviewing, I think she knows exactly how to direct her question to that specific person. I don't think she's ever been kind of disrespectful toward anyone.
Right.
But she can be fun with the specific people that she knows she could be fun around.
Right.
I can see a lot of the criticism that she get.
I feel like the Alex Pereira, like that really opened up his marketability,
Absolutely.
Right?
The whole dancing with him and thing like that.
Yeah.
You've never seen that much personality before her. So I get
Shama.
it. Yeah, absolutely. Shama. So I don't mind her. I think she's good for the UFC. It gets any eyes on the UFC, I think is good eyes. So she does it in her way, and I respect
in her way,
it.
yeah. It's different, right?
Yeah.
Where do you think the UFC is going to be going in the next 5 years, 10 years?
Man, I think they're bigger than boxing right now. I think they're just going to keep growing, and as long as they keep having Abu Dhabi.
I mean, Dana White is going to be promoting boxing, right? With the Saudi Arabia, the Riyadh, the whole.
Yeah, I honestly
they're bringing the super fights, the big fights, right, into the.
Man, that Arab money.
And they brought
Yeah, I'm Arab. I can say that. By the way,
they bring Dana White to promote
100%.
The thing because he knows how to promote.
They love that stuff, and they have the money to put on fantastic shows.
They can make the fights that people want to see.
100%. All of the visa troubles or whatever, like they can get those fighters on board and get phenomenal international fight weeks. So as long as they have that backing and TKO kind of keeps growing, because they're a global company, I think, for a long run.
Yeah.
I think
they can make these big things happen, right?
I think so, 100%.
Yeah.
Because every kid, man, wants to be a fighter nowadays. So many high school wrestlers see MMA as a genuine path. We have so many promotions with Up Next Fighting and Royal Combat Promotion. There are genuine pathways nowadays for these kids to actually achieve MMA dreams. And it's crazy because 5-6 years ago, this stuff was not that accessible. So I think MMA and the UFC in general is growing to a global aspect and is going to keep growing.
It's just great to see so many events and yeah, like that this amount of fighters, right? Where they're they're doing okay.
Absolutely.
Considering how it was back in the day.
I don't know if you know the answer to this, but is there any talks of jiu-jitsu in the Olympics? Because I know Olympics is coming.
And we talk about that because we talked to Adam Morzinski. He just won the world again, and then I talked to old school guys, right? And then the IBJJF, the federation for the major federation for jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. They don't want their thing is that they don't want to make it an Olympic sport.
They don't. Oh wow, what's the reason?
The reason because they don't want to change the essence of it. The essence of it is to keep it like a fight. So
Fair.
it's like a whatever fight based kind of thing.
That's fair.
Not spectator friendly. Because
Gotcha.
if you look at the history of judo and everything, judo 100 years ago was like Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It was Brazilian jiu-jitsu pretty much. I mean, Brazilian jiu-jitsu was judo. Is judo. It's the same thing, right? Pretty much. Except Jagar Khan wanted to make it an Olympic sport. And so they took away stuff that worked and that didn't, or I'm not stuff that worked and didn't work. Stuff that was spectator friendly and not spectator friendly. And so it ended up just becoming like throwing, right?
Wow. Okay.
You know what I
did
mean?
not know that.
Because, if you look at jiu-jitsu and if you watch jiu-jitsu, if you're a practitioner, it's cool.
Absolutely.
But if you're not, like, what's going on?
For sure.
I remember I
totally get it.
took my wife's cousin, she went to New Mexico back in the day. She's these guys were like breathing hard on each other. A guy had the guard on somebody else, and she's like, "What is going on? What is going on?" She couldn't believe it.
Yeah, but you
She didn't
yourself as a
understand.
practitioner.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome. You do some crazy sweep or some kind of cool move, right?
100%.
And so there's that. But the Abu Dhabi, the federation, like the sheiks, speaking of the money and stuff, they're pushing hard to make it be that, and then also even the. It used to be called FILA, the wrestling federation. They have a grappling division as well with submissions and stuff.
Oh wow!
And so let's see. I think in one form or the other, maybe it's going to be like an amateur MMA thing that happens, or like more like a no-gi grappling kind of thing.
For sure.
I think that'll
that.
be that. That's what happens because
It's a little higher pace. Yeah.
it's higher pace, and I think there's already judo, right? And then wrestling is wrestling, right?
Absolutely.
So I think there's something there, especially with the popularity of
100%.
of
Submission
jiu-jitsu and
grappling
stuff.
is booming right now. I think it's the biggest it's ever been, to be honest.
Yeah.
Every other person that I feel like I know is doing some sort of something nowadays
Yeah.
as far as martial
Yeah,
arts,
yeah,
whether
yeah,
it's
yeah.
jiu-jitsu or wrestling or something or another.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
there's definitely there.
Yeah. How did you get into jiu-jitsu? What made you want to do jiu-jitsu?
I did not want to get punched in the face.
That's good.
That was the main
That's
thing.
good.
So, but I wanted some sort of martial arts. At the time, I was a little bit on the chubbier side, wasn't really the most flexible. There was a karate spot called Inspired Martial Arts up on
Up the street, yeah.
on San Fernando and Olive.
Olive, right.
Yep. My girlfriend, my fiance, Irene, used to be an instructor there. She's a black belt up there. And my brother used to train there as well, my little brother, Charbel. So I used to drop him off, and I was like, you know what? This could be a good way to kind of get into things. So I signed up. Spent a year or two there, but it kind of wasn't doing it for me. It did its purpose for me, and then I did one class.
You did taekwondo or you did jiu-jitsu there?
They do everything. So
Okay.
they teach a little bit of grappling. They teach a little bit of striking. They teach a little bit of kicking. They called it modern martial arts, which I thought it was very beneficial for myself just to kind of get myself
get your
going,
body
give me
moving,
that
right?
basis. And then I signed up to a noon class at Legacy. Irene came with me because I did
Nice.
not have the guts to kind of do it alone.
Nice.
Did 3 roles. It was Professor Joey was coaching it. Shout out Professor Joey.
Yeah.
And at the end of the class, we were doing the good training line thing, and I ran straight to the bathroom and threw up. I looked at Irene and I was like, I'm signing up.
That happened to somebody today.
Yeah, that's why the bathroom smells.
Did you
so-
finish the class?
Yeah, I finished the class. Came right back and did what I needed to do, and I signed up right there.
Nice,
And then I think that was 7-8 years ago, potentially.
amazing,
at this
man.
Point. Yeah, changed my life. Hate to be that guy, but really that changed my life. anytime I do jiu-jitsu, I'm like, all right, I've done the hardest part of my day. Everything else is easy now. I can handle any phone call, any objection, any rejection, quota at work. It really doesn't matter. So, yeah, owe it all to this.
And you're got in better shape,
100%.
less much weight.
I am in the best shape. My 31-year-old self right now would kick my 21-year-old self any day of the week. So, yeah. It teaches you a lot, dude. It strengthens your body. It strengthens your mentality. You want to get better. You know what I mean? Because as much as we hate to admit it, ego is a big thing.
Yeah.
You do not want to get smashed by a white or a blue belt.
Yeah.
So you force yourself to kind of stay in shape and stay active and on top of your techniques. And I love that about it. I love the pressure that it kind of puts on me all the times to
Learning how to lose too, right? Like
100.
tapping to somebody, you're like, man,
100%.
and having to deal with that.
Absolutely.
And look yourself in the mirror. And be like,
100%.
"Oh, okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna become better.
My first 6 to 7 months was just a mental battle of showing up, knowing I am gonna get my butt handed to me, and that's okay. One day it's gonna click. That day hasn't shown up yet. It's still
come
not
on,
clicking.
It's clicking more. It's clicking
Yes,
more, right?
Absolutely. But it's awesome. It's
And
awesome.
you see those, you see some people post videos. I don't know if you've seen some of those the viral videos of guys. I don't lose. I've never lost a street fight, or I don't lose. You know, and some guy was saying like MMA fighters are pussies.
Oh my
and-
God,
But you
yeah.
know what I mean? Like guys like that talking, right?
100%.
And that would never happen even if you do jiu-jitsu, right?
Absolutely.
You're not gonna talk like that.
Never, ever. It's crazy how much it humbles you and it calms you down. I see a confrontation, I walk away now. I literally,
worth it.
Oh, not at all, not at all. I'm such a de-escalator. At one point, people think I'm a pacifist. I'm like, no, it's just things are not.
And if something
worth
happens,
it.
you can handle yourself.
100%.
You know that.
100%. My friends love to joke around me. It's like, hey, bro, I see red. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm like, yes, sir, absolutely.
I see red when there's a situation. I just like,
100%.
well, I lose it, and
100%. But yeah, no, it's great.
bodies hit the floor.
Trained 7-8 years. I brought a lot of people that I love with me to jiu-jitsu. Tanya, who's a purple belt with us,
Yeah.
she's a big deal here. I
Yeah.
brought my brother to train. I brought my fiance Irene to train here as well. Anyone who I can kind of convince to kind of bring over, I kind of try and bring over to the jiu-jitsu side of things. It's a great way to kind of keep in shape and keep your mind sharp.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank
Of
you.
course.
Yeah, it's love. Thank you for coming on and hanging out a little bit. You know, it's,
Of course.
It's yeah, we're always so busy, right? And it's nice to be able to sit down and talk a little bit about life and
100%.
just some of the background.
Absolutely.
Where did you grow up?
Born and raised in Lebanon. Moved to the States when I was 13 years old. Me and my
13,
mom.
wow.
Yeah, me and my mama moved here. Went to middle school up in Sylmar, high school up in Tahunga.
Okay.
And then just college went to CSUN in Long Beach State.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So a little bit of both. I've lived longer in the United States now than I have in Lebanon, which is so weird to say because for the longest time I was always like, oh, it's only 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah,
now
yeah,
it's
yeah.
been
Now it's your whole life almost,
100%.
right?
Absolutely.
Do you miss it?
I go back often.
Okay.
So I miss parts of it. I don't miss other parts of it. You know what I mean? We have a lot of things here that we take for granted. 24/7 electricity, hot water whenever we want, no gas shortage at any point. Those are things that we have here that aren't necessarily provided in Lebanon at any means.
What about that storage thing that blew up and almost?
Oh, man. Yeah,
What,
see.
what was that? I watched what actually happened. Right? It was like it was a shipment of whatever
100%.
chemicals, right?
It was a ship that docked in Lebanon that never really left, and no one took care of whatever chemicals was involved in, and then kaboom. See, stuff like that never happens here. But man, the lifestyle, the food, the people,
Beautiful,
the nightlife,
beautiful,
100%.
beautiful
It's
country.
those things that kind of make it what it is. We always say we are the happiest depressed people you'll ever meet.
Happiest depressed people.
Because on our worst day, we'll get ready and we'll go out and have a good time at night because it's all we kind of know what to do. So put Lebanon on your travel list.
I'd love to go one of these days.
sir.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because we're kind of built to. There was like that guy who right here. I love this book, Sebastian Younger. It's called Tribe, right? And we're built to suffer, and you connect more with people when you like suffer together, right? When you go through hard times together.
100%. I completely agree. And as a Lebanese people, there are more Lebanese people outside of Lebanon than in Lebanon. So whenever something does happen there, we're so good about kind of getting together and then putting together nonprofits and organizations to send money and to help out in
Fundraising,
any
yeah.
way, shape, or form. So we're really together in that sense.
Yeah, yeah. They give like examples of like World War II and people being in bomb shelters, right?
Absolutely.
And getting through it together. And
Fun fact, my house in Lebanon, the kitchen is a bomb shelter. Yeah, it's shaped in a kind of like a, sorry.
no worries.
It's shaped in a kind of like a circle motion, kind of the roof. And like if you touch it, it is so dense. So during the Civil War back in the 70s
There you
over
go.
there, whenever some bad stuff would happen, the entire family would kind of come down and recuperate down there. They chill there to kind of things calm down.
Yeah. It's but yeah, just the suffering, right? We're built and we're like happier in a way.
Absolutely.
Even though I don't know how it makes sense, but it does. We're built for that, you know.
For sure.
Connect more with each other and stuff. And I remember in Brazil, right? Like like in the favelas or poor guys, right? They're like they all sleep in one room, or like 10 guys or whatever, but they're like happy.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
I mean, they live in
different.
paradise and
Absolutely.
beautiful country and everything else, but it's like, people, other places you have a lot of money, big mansion, whatever, but they're not happy, right?
Absolutely, 100%. You got to be happy with what you have and be happy with the cards that you're dealt. You know what I mean? Like you said, 8-9 people in a living room, but they're happy as clams, dude. So, yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Going back to jiu-jitsu, right? Like it makes me like understand a little bit what I do, right? With having the gym and, doing what we do. And I say it a few times, right? But in the podcast, but we need to be good at something. We need to be ourselves, authentic,
Absolutely.
and we need to be connected to others. And so we get all that on the mat.
Absolutely.
We're authentic. You can't be fake, right?
100%.
You're gonna be yourself,
if someone
right?
is trained or not. Absolutely.
But just your personality, who you are, yeah. There's no faking it.
100%.
And then eventually, if you keep showing up, you're gonna get better and you're gonna get good,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
And then you cannot not be connected with others. You're kind of in a way
Forced to.
suffering together, right? You're going through all these things with the same time.
100%. No, I completely
There's like
agree.
such a big trust that is built right on the mat.
100%. You got to trust your partner at the end of the day. Like, it's a role and you're battling against them, but you got to have enough trust in them, know that they're not going to crank whatever submission
Yeah.
they have.
Yeah.
So we got to come back and train the next day,
Yeah. Yeah.
No one should win practice.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
That's right. There's no what do you call it? Training champions, right?
Absolutely.
Training world champions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, brother. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for hanging out a little
Thank
bit.
you for having me.
And yeah, you wanna give some shout outs? Any
Big shout out to you. Thank you for this beautiful community that you built us. Shout out for Kevin. Your
Yeah.
social media work is fantastic. Big fan of all the content that you create. If you guys ever
you
want
see
to
the races now?
the Legacy Olympics, I am so excited. By the way,
Are you
Let's
coming?
go.
Are you coming?
I'm gonna try.
Are you
to.
gonna be a part of it?
If they find me a worthy opponent, I can be a part of it.
Okay,
for
okay.
sure. But yeah, big shout out to you guys. I have to plug myself in. If you guys want
Yeah.
Kings tickets for next year,
That's
season
it.
tickets, group tickets, please do not hesitate to reach out. My Instagram is my first and last name. Just DM me whatever you're gonna want to talk about. Kings tickets, season tickets. Just go ahead and reach out. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.